This is Joshua Farnsworth. Welcome to my traditional woodworking school. In this video, Will Myers shows how to quickly and safely cut glass with an inexpensive glass cutter, and how to mount that glass into a cabinet door using simple glazing points and window glazing putty that you can get at your hardware store.
Last thing we've got to do here is put the glass in the door. And what I usually do, and it's not so much that it's any cheaper or anything, it's just I like to, if I can find it, and it's pretty available, at least where I live, my part of the world, is old glass from old windows is where most of it comes from. And the reason I like to use it, it looks, you know, more vintage because, well, number one, it is vintage, but old glass is quite a bit different than modern. It's tends to be little air bubbles in it sometimes. It's not perfectly flat. It's wavy a little bit. There can be little inclusions of stuff. This piece has a couple little lines in it here that just, it's imperfections. And so, you know, it just kind of adds a little bit more to the clock. It's not a have to. And you know, I just, like I said, I get this from old windows, and this was a fairly big window here. You can still see where the glazing was on the edge. My favorite way to get this is find them at like antique stores or something, or salvage stores, and you can look at them. You tilt them up and look across the glass. If you can get a little bit of light on it, you can see whether it's wavy or not. And if it is, you know, a lot of times you can buy these things for $10 or $15. So I have been to some stores where they really want $50 for one. Don't pay that, because it's kind of chancy. Sometimes I mean, I've had this stuff break while cutting it, and I really don't have a clue what I did wrong, you know. So it's a little bit of as we would say in my part of the world, a pig in a poke until it's cut, you know. So don't spend a whole lot on it. And if you don't want to go this route, you know, the hardware store can cut glass for you, or you can buy new sheet glass and cut it yourself. If you do, one piece of advice, if you go to the hardware store to have it cut, take your door frame with you and let them fit it, because if you measure and it's, you know, 7.5 by 7.5 with your ruler, and then they, you know, cut it with their, you know, measure with their ruler, a lot of times it doesn't quite fit, because we've got pretty small glazing rabbets. This is different than a house window, because they're about 3/16 wide, and, you know, you don't have a whole lot of give there, you know, if it's too little. And if it's too big, it's hard to fix, because about your only option is to chisel it out a little bit bigger, because it's, you know, it's just hard to trim. In fact, it's pretty much impossible to trim a 1/16 off a piece of glass. You know, you can sand on it a little bit, but that's about it. So to start with, you see I've got this on a piece of cardboard here to kind of support it, something fairly level, or very level is good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, and I'm going to measure my door frame here, and I'm going to go a little bit smaller than my measurement here. Reason being, a lot of times this glass breaks when instead of breaking square, sometimes from the cut it'll break out just a little bit, and I'm exaggerating it here. But so you know, it can be, if you go for a really super tight fit, it may be too tight and not go in. So the main thing, as long as it doesn't, it's not smaller than the glazing rabbet, you know, not past the inside of the moldings here, you know, you're going to be okay. So first thing we need to do here is measure our door and transfer that to the glass. So I'm just going to start with one. I'm going to have to make 2 cuts here, so because I'm too big, too wide, both directions. So I'm going to start, we'll start side to side here. And I'm measuring right at an 8 inches on the inside there, pretty much even both ends. So I'm going to go about 7 7/8 and leave myself a little bit of room here. So I'm going to measure in right here, put my ruler on here, make just a little tick mark at 7 7/8. And I'm using a Sharpie here, a little marker. Same thing over here, 7 7/8. And you can, might be best, I'll show it a little better. I'll go ahead and mark that. Usually I just make the tick marks and then I cut it. But we'll make a mark all the way across. So right there is where we need to cut. Okay, these little glass cutters, if you can see this here, I'll set it down. You notice the little cutting wheel here in the middle. We've got, the tool represents some thickness away from it. So when we line our square up to it, I use the tool, slide my square up to it, and get the wheel right on my mark. So I'm going to spin around right here just for a second so I won't be in an awkward position. And you might be able to see it a little better. So I'm going to put I'm using a framing square here too. It's thicker and it's a little more for the tool to ride on. So that's all there is to that. Just kind of line it up using the tool, location of the little cutter wheel. Okay, I'm going to hold my straight edge in place here, and I'm just going to start on the edge. And you want kind of a ripping noise. You want to make an even pressure across it once you start, and you really don't, you get one pass only. Don't try to make two. And it's a very good idea to wear safety glasses. And I had mine out and I forgot to put them on, so I'll put them on in just a second. But you see all those little shards on there. That's something old glass seems to do worse than newer glass. I don't know what that's about. Newer glass seems to be more like little kind of diamond shaped, or like dust instead of long little shards. So I'm just taking a little block of wood right here, and I'm going to place it just behind my cut here, and just put a little bit of pressure down. Okay, so we've got that knocked out. Get that out of the way. Get rid of these little shards. Okay, I'll make sure I'll go in. Which way did I measure that on that last one? Yeah, it was this way. Okay, so we're good. So now we're ready to measure the up and down portion of it.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying watching our video so far, and I just want to take a few seconds to let you know about our traditional woodworking store, which you can visit while taking a class or by visiting our website at woodandshop.com/store. You'll find our amazing products to help you grow in traditional hand tool woodworking, including in-person and video woodworking classes, woodworking hand tools and workbenches, woodworking plans, traditional wood finishes, shirts and hats, and cool hand tool woodworking gifts for you or your loved ones. Okay, back to the show.
And I'm right at about 8 in that direction. So I'm about 8 by 8. Gosh, it's square. Imagine that. So I want to cut from this edge, of course. So I've got this old glazing, and if you're really pushed trying to, save it, you can clean that off. But a lot of times there is, it leaves a little bit of kind of etching in the glass. So it's best if you can get rid of the where the old glazing had been. But my favorite ones to find, I started to say this a minute ago. My measurement was 8, and I'm going 7 7/8 again. My favorite ones to find are ones where the frame is about rotten. It's the easiest ones to get the glass out of, because you just kind of pull the frame apart and the sheets fall out. So when you're out hunting old glass, try to find rotten window frames, and a lot of them are, so it's easier than trying to dig the glazing out and get glazing points out and that kind of thing. Okay, so we got one more cut, and I've got my safety glasses on this time. And you know, gloves wouldn't be a bad idea either here, so I didn't get that far ahead in my thinking though to bring gloves. So I'm lining my tool up to my mark here. Okay. So pressure down. I'm going to make an even little cut right across there. I've got my little scrap into there. One other thing I didn't mention is you need a certain amount of waste for this to break decently. If you're trying to cut like 3/8 of an inch off an edge right here, it's a disaster. I've had no luck with that. So you need a little bit of something to, you know, kind of break. So just pressure down there again, same thing as before. So now there is our little window pane from old glass for a new clock. So I'm going to get this cardboard out of here and all this little shards of glass. Okay, so to put the glass, install it in the frame, I've seen a lot of people do it different ways. Something like this, you see people use like little wooden strips and then tack them in. I've done that before. Only trouble on like this frame, the door frame is so thin, the rabbets are so small, it's just hard to deal with little strips of wood that small. So sometimes it's kind of like you know, the old stuff is better, and most old, you know, cabinets, anything with glass in it is just glazed in like a window would be on the outside of a house. And that's the way he made these clocks. They have putty that holds the glass in. So to start with, we need some little glazing points, and you can see I've got kind of two different sizes here. And what it is here again, we've got a really small glazing rabbet, and this is glazing points like you buy them at a hardware store or something, just the regular triangular ones. But it's a little bit big, and especially if you're using a harder wood. In butternuts, you can usually push these in, but I just take my pair of diagonals here and I cut these things down a little bit and make went in the floor, but you can see the little piece that come off there. I cut about that much off. I'll find that one later, but just nip them down, and that's all you have to do. That if you're using, I've made these out of a couple of these out of walnut, and the walnut in our part of the world is hard stuff, so you can't, it's hard to get a small glazing point in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my putty knife, and I'm just going to go, and I usually put 4 in. I'm going to put 3 in here because I've got to take this glass back out to finish when I spray this thing in lacquer. So, but I'll show you kind of how I do it. So just take your putty knife and just flat against the glass and push it in. You can see what I've done there. Same thing. About 4 is plenty here. I'll try this left-handed. Maybe I won't break anything. The main thing is the back of the little point needs to be farther in than the edge of the molding, so we can see the edge of the molding through the glass there. And I'll just stick 1 in here. Like I said, I've got to take all these out before I sprayed this thing. So I'll just put one over here. Okay, so that's it. Now the glass is attached, and then we're going to glaze it. And this is just regular stuff you buy at a hardware store. These little tubs are $2 or $3. This stuff's cheap. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you, I am terrible at this. If you've ever seen anybody do this that knows what they're doing, and it's usually house painters, you know, they used to houses had glazed windows. A lot of times that was part of the house painting process, was to re-glaze the windows. But I've seen people do it and they just absolutely fly. It looks good. It all turns out perfect. For me, it's like playing with Play-Doh. It's not too pretty, but I can make it happen. So you roll it out in a snake kind of first, and we're just going to kind of pull it out, lay it in the rabbet there. This stuff, I've tried this on the cherry clock back here behind me we were looking at earlier. I used, you can use like modeling clay, that kind of thing. I've heard about it, and I tried it on that one. And it's kind of still experimental. The reason for using it, you can get it in dark color so it doesn't look so blinding white, you know, on the, but really is when the door is closed, you can't see it. So probably my biggest fear with the modeling clay trick is that over time the clay is going to dry up and fall out. So we'll see. It's kind of experimental, but this stuff here works good. So once you kind of get it, you know, your little snake kind of pushed in there, come back with your putty knife. I've seen several different ways of doing this, the way people hold them, but I kind of come in like that, and you'll push up, and we're gonna get this around here where you can see it maybe. Or as bad as I am at it, you may not want to see it. But just kind of press it down, and it shears the waste off right here, which we'll go on around and move that on down. And like I said, I'm not very good at this. Maybe this would be a good thing to pay attention to somebody else on. And you can come back, and if you've got a gap or something, and kind of touch up. But really the only thing that really matters here is you want it not to project past the molding. So I can see the edge of my molding through the glass on the other side, you know, that I know my glazing, if it goes past the molding, you can see it from the other side here. So I'm going to push a little bit in this corner. Some of this we could roll out and kind of replace. I read about this stuff once. The guy that invented Play-Doh that kids play with, he got the idea. He was I think he was a house painter or something, but his kids liked to play with you could buy at that time like 5-gallon tubs of glazing putty. And his kids liked to play with it, and he got the idea of coloring it. And see, you just thought you were watching a clock video. You didn't know you was going to get the history of Play-Doh to boot. But so anyway, you kind of see what I've got. I've not got it pushed in there very good, but just come along and do like that. So that's all I'm going to do, because I've got to take this back, scratch this back out anyway to finish painting. Or not painting, but spray the lacquer. So you can come back and work on your corners there a little bit, but you get the best result when it's just the kind of sheared surface from when you initially push it in there. So that's about all I've got on window glazing, and how to cut glass. So we're going to put this door back on, and that's going to pretty much wrap us up.
If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking, come take a class at our school in Earlysville, Virginia. You can also visit our website at woodandshop.com, where you'll find a bunch of free woodworking lessons, workshop tours, and our very popular tool buying guides. And make sure you subscribe to our free newsletter to get our latest articles and videos. Enjoy!